Okay. Yeah. Good morning, beloveds. We've got 6 pages left, so I'm going to try and do them. Yeah, because it's 6 pages left. So let's rip through the housekeeping. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center. The website is creativelife.org. The constant contact is email, info@creativelife.org. 1 email a week tells you what's going on for the week and the month. Hot links are hot. Blind CC, nobody's going to get your email. Social medias, we don't monetize them. So we ask you to engage with them to bump us in the algorithms. Go like, subscribe, share, follow, comment. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center or Creative Life Spark. And I am the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. We appreciate all of the help that you can give us and bumping us in those algorithms. Okay. So what we are doing is living the science of mind. Now, what we have been doing, because we're on part 4, because it's a really long essay, we started out with kind of the history of New Thought, the history of science of mind. What we are doing is the Declaration of Principles. And what Ernest is doing in the Declaration of Principles is showing his work. Now, Ernest does not show his work often. He quotes a lot, but then he doesn't tell you where he gets the quotes from. He might say, oh, this is from Browning. Okay. Or Emerson, or, so he might say that, but he doesn't tell you where it's from. In here, he's literally giving you quotes and mostly telling you where they're coming from. The quotes from the systems, the religious systems that he kind of was inspired to create his Declaration of Principles from. So it's really cool and it's been very interesting, and I hope it's as interesting for you as it has been for me. I've read it before, but it's been a while because this is such a good book that I don't know why I don't pick it up more often. I like to read those up, like I'm constantly reading 3 or 4 books at a time. This just happened to end up on a back burner, and yeah. So, all right, so let's get into this. So we can kind of finish up his principles. So we are starting off with, we believe in the healing of the sick through the power of the mind. Spiritual mind healing has long since passed the experimental stage, and we now know why it is that faith has performed miracles. We live in a universe of pure, unadulterated spirit, of perfect being. We are, as Emerson said, in the lap of an infinite intelligence. There is a spiritual prototype of perfection at the center of everything. There is a divine pattern at the center of every organ in the physical body. Our body is some part of the body of God. It is a manifestation of the Supreme Spirit. In the practice of spiritual mind healing, we start with this simple proposition. God is perfect. God is all there is. God includes humanity. The spiritual person is a divine being, as complete and perfect in essence as is God. When in thought, in contemplation, in imagination, and in inward feeling, we consciously return to the source of our being. The divine pattern, which already exists, springs forth into a newness of manifestation. When we clear the consciousness, think like clearing your browser, that is the whole mental life of conscious and subjective of discord, we are automatically healed. Jesse would tell you that's hardball metaphysics. It takes a whole lot of faith. The science of mind, which is the tool of the religious scientists, gives us a definite technique for doing this. It teaches us exactly how to proceed on a simple, understandable basis. It is a science because it is built upon exact laws of the mind, for the laws of the mind are as exact as any other laws in nature. They are natural laws. From a practical viewpoint, this is done by making certain definite statements with the realization that they have the power to remove any obstacle, to dissolve any false condition, and to reveal people's spiritual natures. True mind healing cannot be divorced from the spiritual realization. Therefore, the practitioner of this science must have a deep and abiding sense of calm and peace, and of their union with the Spirit. They must have an unshakable conviction that the spiritual person is perfect, that They are one with God, and they must know in such a degree that they realize, sense, feel this inner perfection. It will appear. The physical healing itself is a result, an effect of this inward consciousness. Faith is a certain definite mental attitude. When Jesus said, "It is done unto you as you believe," he implied that there is a law, a force, or an intelligent energy in the universe which acts upon the images of our belief. Faith is an affirmative way of using this law, this energy, this force. Therefore, all scriptures have announced the necessity of having faith. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Be renewed in the spirit of your mind. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ. I will put my laws into your mind. Hear, O earth, behold, I will bring evil unto these people, even the fruits of their thought. That's kind of a scary quote. And he sent his word and healed them. He forgetteth all thine iniquities. He healeth all thy diseases. O Lord my God, I cried unto thee, and thou hast healed me. And then shall thy light break forth as morning, and thine health shall speed forth speedily. And it shall come to pass that before they call, I will answer. And while they are yet speaking, I will hear. I will take sickness away from the midst of thee. The tongue of the wise is health. Behold, I will bring health. I will cure them. Whew. Jesus turned him about, and when he saw her, he said, Daughter, be of good comfort. Thy faith has made thee whole. And the woman was made whole from that hour. Then touched he their eyes, saying, According to your faith, be it unto you. And their eyes were opened. Heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out devils. Freely ye have received, freely give. And great multitudes followed him, and he healed them all. And the blind and the lame came to him in the temple, and he healed them. In spiritual mind healing, thought becomes a transmitter for the divine power. Therefore, the thought must always be kept free from confusion. It is interesting to note that while all the great scriptures of the ages concur about the nature of God and of people, and the relationship between the spiritual and the physical, outside the Christian scriptures, very little is mentioned about healing or the control of conditions through the use of divine power, although they all agree that when the mind reflects the divine perfection, healing and prosperity follow. In the text of Taoism, we find the still mind is the mirror or heaven and earth. Maintain a perfect unity in every movement of your will. You will not wait for the hearing of your ears, but for the hearing of your mind. You will not wait even for the hearing of your mind, but for the hearing of the Spirit. Purity and stillness give the correct law to all under heaven. And from the Quran, the Lord of the worlds, he hath created me and guideth me. He giveth me food and drink, and when I am sick, he healeth me. And never, Lord, have I prayed to thee with ill success. There is a science of mind and spirit because there is a principle of mind and spirit. There is a possibility of using this science because we now understand how the laws of the mind and spirit work in human affairs. The principle of mind operates through our thought, through our faith and conviction, and most effectively through an attitude of love, of compassion, and of sympathy constructively used. It is impossible to make the highest use of these laws of mind without basing such use of these laws upon inward spiritual perception, upon a conscious realization of the union of people with God. All right. Moving on. We believe in the control of conditions through the power of this mind. While all sacred writings affirm that when we are in harmony with the infinite, we are automatically prospered, the Christian scriptures lay greater stress on prosperity through spiritualizing the mind than any other of the Bibles of the world. Our Bible, understand that Ernest was Christian, truly understood, is a book for the emancipation of people from the thraldom of every evil, every lack, and limitation. From the teaching of Moses, running through the thought of the major prophets, and culminating in the brilliant manifestation of the mind of Christ through the thought of Jesus, over and over this idea is reiterated, that if we live in harmony with the Spirit, everything we do shall prosper. Religious science teaches that through right knowledge of the science of mind, we can definitely and consciously demonstrate, prove, or show forth practical results of spiritual thought. Countless thousands have proved this principle, and there is no longer any question about its effectiveness. The greatest guide we have for this is found in the inspired writings of the Christian scriptures. Oh, okay. Prove me now herewith, said the Lord of hosts, if I will not open to you the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it. And he shall pray unto God, and he will be favorable unto him. For everyone that asketh receiveth, and that he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be opened. Ask, and it shall be given you. And all things whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer, believing ye shall receive. The Apostle Paul said, I will pray with spirit, and I will pray with the understanding also. This is an instruction for us to combine spiritual intuition with definite mental acceptance. He is telling us that the gifts of God is to be consciously used. We are also told to pray without ceasing, to maintain a steadfast conviction, disregarding every apparent contradiction, obstruction, and appearance that would deny the good we affirm. But let them ask in faith, nothing wavering, for they that wavereth is like the wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. To the righteous good shall be repaid. The minds of the righteous shall stand. Behold, the righteous shall be recompensed in the earth. The righteous is delivered of all trouble. The righteous person means one who is right with the universe, one who lives in accord to the divine will and the divine nature, one who lives in harmony with good. Oh, it doesn't mean somebody who thinks they're right all the time. It's one who lives in harmony. All right. We have the right then to expect, and we should expect, insofar as our inner thought is in tune with the infinite, that everything we do shall prosper. Oh my goodness. Okay. We've got two more. We believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of life to all. The Spirit gives itself to everyone, the power of good delivered to all. Whosoever will may come, no matter what the mistakes of our yesterdays may have been. We may transcend both the mistake and its consequence through the imbibing of the Spirit of truth, which is the power of God. This does not mean that we may continue living in the mistake without suffering from it. We must transcend it. That is, we must transmute hate into love, fear into faith, and a sense of separation into conscious union with good. When we have done this, the entire record of the past is blotted out, and we are again free. Free with that freedom which the Almighty has ordained and which people may claim as their own. But liberty is not license, and the law of life cannot be fooled. It is exact and exacting. Therefore, said Jesus, all things whatsoever ye would that people should do unto you, do ye ever so to them. Give, and it shall be given. This is a statement of the law of cause and effect, which is invariable and immutable, but which is also the plaything of both God and humanity. For while the law itself cannot be broken, any particular sequence of cause and effect in it can be transcended. The same law which, wrongly used, brought poverty, sickness, and death, rightly used, will bring peace, wholeness, prosperity, and life. This is the great challenge of spiritual faith. Christian philosophy bids us not to look with doleful introspection on previous errors, but coming daily to the fountain of life to be renewed in mind, thought, and spirit. We shall find that we also have renewed in bodily conditions and in physical affairs. Basically, don't dwell on the past. It's like you made the mistake, learn from it and move on. There's one last paragraph here, though. The scripture boldly declares that the triumph of the Spirit of Christ over all evil. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, by putting off the old person and putting on the new person, which is Christ. Lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. All right, last one. We believe in our own soul, our own spirit, and our own destiny, for we understand that the life of people is God. A person is not only a center of God consciousness, they are an immortal being, forever expanding, forever spiraling upward, forever growing in spiritual nature. Not some people, but all people are immortal, for everyone will finally overcome or transcend any misuse of the law which they have made in their ignorance. Complete redemption at last must come alike to all. What transformation must ensue, what change of consciousness must take place before this is finally brought about. The infinite has not yet, the finite has not yet grasped, but through the whispering of the divine intuition, we know that even though we now see as though through a glass darkly, we shall someday behold reality face to face. We shall be satisfied when we consciously awaken in the likeness of that divinity which shapes our ends. Beloved, now we are the children of God, and it doth not yet appear that we shall be, but we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. We are all in the process of spiritual evolution, but there is certainty behind us, certainty before us, and certainty with us at every moment. The eternal light will break through whenever we permit it to. Let me read that again. The eternal light will break through whenever we permit it to. It's up to us. It's why we do our work. Potentially, everything that is to be exists now, but our spiritual vision has not yet become completely in tune with the infinite. This is the high task set before us as religious scientists. This is the deathless hope implanted in our minds by the divine. The trials and the troubles of human experience, the blind groping of the finite towards the infinite, the sickness, poverty, death, uncertainty, fear, and doubt that accompany us constitute the cross upon which we must offer, as a sacrifice to our ignorance, that which does not belong to the kingdom of good. But from this cross something triumphant will emerge. For as Emerson said, the finite alone is wrought and suffered. The infinite lies stretched in smiling repose. Shall we not, then, with joy go forth to meet the new day, endeavoring so to embody the Spirit of Christ, that the divine in us shall rise triumphant, resurrected to live forever in the city of God? More could not be asked than that, which the divine has already delivered. Less should not be expected. Now then, here's this really cool thing. There's 2 pages of references. Okay. Professor Max Muller, one of the greatest European Orientalists, and editor of the Sacred Books of the East, has well said that the true religion of the future will be a fulfillment of all the religions of the past. All religions, so far as I know them, had the same purpose. All were links in a chain which connects heaven and earth, and which is held and always held by one and the same hand. And here on earth tends towards the right and truth and perfection. Nothing here on earth can ever be quite right, quite true, quite perfect, not even Christianity, or what is called Christianity, so long as it excludes other religions instead of loving and embracing what is good in each. Okay, that's interesting. As in many other religions of antiquity, the origin of Taoism is more or less obscure. According to some authorities, it was to have begun around 6000 BC, which antedates Confucius, who was born in 551 BC. But the world generally associates Taoism with Lao Tzu, a Chinese metaphysical philosopher who was 53 years older than Confucius. It was this philosopher who must have gathered together these teachings. Archdeacon Hardwick tells us that the Chinese word Tao was adopted to denominate an abstract cause or an initial principle of life and order to which worshippers were able to assign the attribute of immateriality, eternality, immensity, and invisibility. All right. The next couple are a whole lot shorter. The Upanishads, the Vedas, the Mahabharata, the Raja Yoga philosophy, as well as the Bhagavad Gita, are all drawn from the ancient wisdom of India. The philosophy of Buddha, who was born in the 6th century BC, is too well known to need any comment. The sacred book of the Parsis, Parsis, is called the Zend Avesta, which is a collection of fragments of ideas that prevailed in ancient Persia 500 years before the Christian era, and for several centuries afterwards. That would be Zoroastrianism. I was pretty sure of that. Okay, the Book of the Dead is a series of translations of the ancient Egyptian hymns and religious texts. They were found on the walls of tombs, in coffins, and in papyri, and in many other sacred traditions. There probably were no written copies in the earlier days. They were committed to memory and handed down from generation to generation. Okay, the Egyptians are not the only ones with the Book of the Dead. I've seen them in various other ones, so I'm glad he specified that he was using the Egyptian one, because I thought so, but I wasn't sure. All right. Couple more. Some students believe that the books of Hermes Trismegister, which means the thrice great, is originally derived from the ancient Egyptian doctrine. Hermes was a Greek god, son of Zeus and Maia, the daughter of Alice. To Hermes was attributed the authorship of all the strictly sacred books, generally called by Greek authors Hermetic, which he says, from the Encyclopedia Britannica. According to some scholars, the Egyptian Hermes was a symbol of the divine mind. He was the incarnated thought, the living word, the primitive type of the logos of Plato and the word of Christians. Okay, if you look into the Hermes Trismegistus, it is a collection of writings, but it's some guy who found all of these fragments and thought this is really cool, but nobody's going to take me seriously because my name is this. So he made up a name. But that's, further scholarship that's been done. But it is a collection of ancient wisdom. Okay, fragments of a faith forgotten was taken from the Gnostics. Okay, that's what I thought. Who used the gnosis as the meaning to set their feet upon the way of God. Gnosticism was pre-Christian and originated in the ancient religion and philosophy of Greece, Egypt, and I'm not going to use that word because I don't like it. The Hebrews. It probably started with the Essenes. Okay. According to H. Paleno, the Talmud contains the thoughts of 1,000 years of national life of the Jewish people. The Talmud is the continuing commentary on the Torah. So, okay, the Quran is the sacred book of Islam, consisting of revelations orally derived at intervals by Muhammad and collected in writings after his death. That's according to the Oxford Dictionary. The Quran is considered one of the most important of the world's sacred books. They call them people of the book, so that includes the Jewish Testament, the Jewish Testament, the Christian Testament, and the Quran, which is the Islam Testament. Okay, and then this is the very last one, and then I gotta go. The Apocrypha refers to a collection of ancient writings. The Greek word apokryphos was originally used of books, the contents of which were kept hidden or secret because they embodied the special teachings of religions or philosophical sects. It was only the members of those sects who were initiated into the secrets of these teachings. From the Encyclopedia Britannica. All right. That was Ernest Holmes showing his work. And I gotta go. So, yeah. I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, wondrous day, fantastic day, magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day. A let's take care of business day. Let's go dance in the rain day. Let's stay out of the thunder and lightning day. Let's drink plenty of water day. A cuddle our fur babies day. A tell somebody we love them day. A see the divine looking back at us out of every possible spot day. A good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough. Just as you are, you are a beloved expression of the divine. You are a brilliant light, a divine spark, spirit in motion, God in action, a beautiful masterpiece, and a work in progress at the same time. And as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godly. Explore the truth of your being. Get to know who the divine knows you to be, because the divine knows you to be good. And from there, anything is possible. All right, beloveds, Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. We will take on a new essay tomorrow, which says, why talk so much about God? Ernest is going to answer that question. All right, beloveds, so I'll see you between 9 and 9:15. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. And I will see you next time.